We will broadcast the president's speech here on Wood TV 8 on woodtv.com and on Wood TV Plus. It begins at 9 o'clock tonight. It will be followed by the Democrats' response. Joining us now live is Dr. Peter Wilhour, a political science professor at Western Michigan University. Dr. Wilhour, thank you for joining us.
Good afternoon, Amber.
So just talk about just how big of a speech this is for the president tonight.
Sure. This is obviously a very important speech. The Constitution requires that the president deliver a State of the Union address. And in the modern media age, that it makes it one of the biggest venues for the president in each year. It probably will be one of the biggest audiences that he'll have to make this case directly to the American people, largely unfiltered, even though most Americans probably won't watch it. They'll wait for other people to distill it and to give kind of cues as to what to make of it.
Mm-hmm. Midterm elections still, but 8 months or so away. But how big is this for the midterm elections?
Well, I think it'll be important because I think it'll help him to set the theme for what he wants the message to be going into this year. The Republicans are really, it's going to be a difficult year for them because the president's party always tends to lose seats in midterm election years. The Republican majority in the House of Representatives in particular is quite small and quite narrow. So it's very important that he try to get ahead of what he thinks are going to be criticisms. It's important that he set the themes that then Republicans can run on and perhaps run successfully.
President Trump last delivered a joint address to Congress in March. He said yesterday, as we just heard, this year's address will be long because there's so much to talk about. What will likely be the topics the president touches on?
Well, certainly he'll talk about the economy. That's always a theme in presidential States of the Union. I think that he'll be emphasizing positive news that's come out recently in terms of the stock market, inflation, and jobs. He'll obviously credit his favorite policies, such as the tariffs, and he'll blame the Biden administration for anything that isn't working the way he thinks it ought to. I think he'll take some credit for some domestic changes. He'll talk about declines in crime rates. And of course, he'll talk about immigration, the signature issue that he has. He'll claim victory with regard to detaining and deporting lots of illegal aliens and praising the ICE agents as heroes and denigrating protesters. And then finally, I think we'll see some things related to foreign policy, the Venezuela attacks, threats against Israel, threats against Iran. And he'll certainly have a good dose of partisan politics, poking Democrats whenever he can, especially when it comes to passing Homeland Security funding.
And with many Democrats planning to boycott the speech, as we heard just moments ago, do you believe it will further fuel political tensions?
Gosh, it's difficult for me to see that things could get much worse, get much more tense. Could it fuel it? I don't see that Donald Trump's style is to back off and to placate. He's got a much more antagonistic and aggressive style. The Democrats aren't going to give him any quarter. The Republicans are going to be the cheerleaders that they always are. But that's the nature of our partisan politics these days, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm. Dr. Wilhour, is there anything else that you wanted to share?
Well, I think it'll be very interesting to hear how the reaction is among the crowd for the guests that the president has. That's always an interesting human interest side of the presidential State of the Union. Some of the members of the men's hockey team, men's Olympic hockey team will be there. And I think a lot of people will be excited to see that. And I hope that they get a great response.
All right, Dr. Wilhour with Western Michigan University, thank you for your time.
Thank you very much.